Welcome to Sports Talk with Steve Jones, the daily talk show with the voice of Penn State football and men's basketball. You never know what special guest may stop on by any given day. Now here's the man of the hour, Mr. Steve Jones.
All right. While the world thinks, at least ESPN does, that not much is going on right now after the draft.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, the three players that we mentioned, actually a fourth as well, I mentioned short, but the three primary players we picked that were all in the mock drafts further down.
Bruce Thornton went 31st.
First pick of the second.
First pick of the second round. 2 picks later, I believe.
The next pick.
The next pick was when Richie Saunders went. I thought it was 33rd, 32nd, something. So Richie Saunders went 32nd. He went to the Grizzlies, if I'm not mistaken.
And I'm happy for Braden
And then
Smith.
Braden Smith ended up in Indiana with the Pacers. He's going to be Tyrese Halliburton's backup point guard, which is a pretty good role to be in because Braden Smith is really good with the ball, will not lose possession, and he's also, spoiler, probably going to play at the start of the season because Halliburton's still recovering from his Achilles tear, so he's going to get minutes.
Without his sneakers, they measure you without sneakers.
Yeah.
You see him out there. He's 6 feet tall.
He's 6 feet on his tippy toes.
So I'm not surprised by that. You pick guys in that round that you think can somehow find a way onto your roster. You'll have to be patient with Richie Saunders.
He's still recovering from his ACL tear.
But he's got all this, the age-based stuff, the foreign player stuff, the whole thing. But there's certain foreign players that stick out. Victor Wembanyama, we have to take. But that draft a couple of years ago, we talked about Rishi Shea and Sark. They've done a brilliant job, the NBA, on the Wembanyama deal. They made such a big deal out of him coming into the league that they established his name out of the gate. College drafts, this is where the NFL has benefited forever from. They treat college football like they backhand them with the need to. But they establish stars for them before they get into their league. Fernando Mendoza comes to the Raiders, established as a name. He's the Heisman Trophy winner, national championship quarterback. When the Giants drafted Saquon Barkley, he was already a big deal. When Micah Parsons was drafted by the Cowboys, he already was a big deal. The NBA has gotten away from that, where they are bringing in players that a lot of people do not know. Now, this draft, especially the top part of it, with all the known one and dones, had some, had name recognition.
It was, I think, 9 of the first 10 were all freshmen.
The only one was Morez Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said he's probably going to have a 10-year career.
Crazy.
Crazy, Dusty may agree with me. But they kind of, this draft is at least one that has established people. I don't think, did they go with any overseas players in this draft?
Overseas, yes. There were a few players picked. So Kareem Lopez went 21st to the Memphis Grizzlies through some trades. Sergio De La Rey went to the Dallas Mavericks, I believe, after all said and done. He went 25th. Those are the only 2 in the first round this year, but it was very college-heavy this draft. Second round, you had a few players taken internationally.
College model of it allows known names to be at franchises. He may be a second-round pick, but every single Pacers fan knows who Braden Smith is.
Yeah, they do.
Right? They already know. And there's excitement over their second-round pick. Right? Same thing like everybody in Washington knows who Stefanski is. Everybody in Utah knows who Peterson is. Everybody in Chicago knows who Caleb Wilson is. Memphis, they're excited. They got Cam Boozer. Everybody knows who he is. Right? Sacramento was worried. They started trying to put together trades to move up to get Acuff. And then they kind of then pulled a Howie Roseman, read the board, read the room, and said, okay, after
having an initial panic attack about, which is justified, that they can't get their guy, we're going to have to move up, then read the room and stay put and got their guy. So, but this was a draft of known names. And that helps the league tremendously because college basketball, like college football, delivers the name recognition where the NBA doesn't have to spend a lot of time building up somebody's name so you recognize who they are.
Can I say a part of that, which is NIL? NIL is a part of it because now we're seeing, of course, this summer was a crazy one where we saw a lot of these international players who are on the older side coming over and joining collegiate programs.
Right.
But it's happening more often where a lot of college athletes are coming up and being in this draft because a lot of players are coming over from overseas and playing, which like a decade ago wasn't happening. You still had all the Jan Veselis of the world getting drafted and no one could have told you who he was. And like now...
And to their credit, they still can't.
They still can't. But now it's happening more where a lot of players are going over and then getting drafted. In the second round, there was a few players internationally taken.
But this is a second round. There's a different level here at this point as to what you're trying to do. I have no problem with that.
But in the top guys, it was all players who played somewhere in college basketball, and it's happening more and more, and it's as you said, it's good to see. Like it's a lot of these athletes are going through the collegiate like program essentially, and they're coming in and also making an immediate impact. Like you're seeing a lot more players who come over from overseas, play a year, get drafted, and make this big impact. And there's a heck of a lot of kids who are going over to college this year who are playing for the likes of Duke or even Penn States of the world, and they're going to make an impact, and they're going to get drafted in a year, and they're going to be known quantities, where if they didn't come over, they wouldn't be known, and so you have to build up their stardom. Unless you're Victor Wembanyama or you're Luka Doncic even, like, it doesn't happen where you come over and you're just that guy for a team. Speaking of NIL, Steve Jones. Speaking of college athletics.
Well, I want to get to the practice part of it.
This is what I was going to go for. So Division I football teams would be allowed more on-field practices in the off-season. This coming on in from what looks to be an NCAA proposal that will most likely be approved and voted on in August, and if adopted, would take effect January 1st. The out-of-season activities model would replace the current spring practice and summer activities legislation.
It's an OTA.
An OTA. You would be allowed to conduct 2 out-of-season practice periods, the total of 21 on-field practices. The duration of the 2 practice periods may not exceed a total of 7 weeks, and neither period may exceed 5 weeks in specific. The FCS would allow...
In other words, you can't go a 6th consecutive week. There really isn't a lot of difference here.
It's basically going to say most programs are going to have a 3-week and a 4-week. You can have 21 total days of practices. It's fair. But it adds more. It goes up from, 15, I believe, over a month and a little bit, to now saying you have 7 total weeks at some point throughout the summer or out your off season. Use them when you want to.
So you'd have 7 total weeks to conduct 21 on-field practices. Okay? No single period can exceed 5. Well, the old one was 15 practices, 5 weeks. Penn State went 3 times a week this year. And under the current rules, you're using 15 spring practices go across 34 days.
So I want to ask you.
The additional 6 practices under the proposed rule would be non-contact without full pads. Schools would then be required to designate 9 discretionary or voluntary weeks where the players are not required to perform athletically related activities, up to 8 weeks currently. That's up from 8 weeks currently.
So what does it look like for Penn State? So what does it look like?
Okay. Today was the last day where they did a workout. The next 4 are going to be run by the players. Okay. And that includes the Lift for Life lift on Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock over at Haluba. They're going to do it both inside Haluba and outside. And I was talking to Cale Brazina on the way out to the parking lot, and he says, this is where you find out who the buy-in guys are. You find out who the complainers are. He says, and we've got to take care of that. And I said, well, Cale, I'll tell you exactly what I told Matt being Matt Campbell. I said, this is where you find out who your leaders are. And that's what happens with that. This voluntary deal, the other players will hold you accountable on the voluntary deal. Now, you need time off? Yeah, you do need time off. You do need some time off. Everybody does. In fact, based on the schedules around here, people take that seriously. And what are you talking about? But they can do that. The change to me is the preseason camp.
Okay, so what does the preseason camp change look like?
Well, the preseason camp is going to go to 21 practices.
Over 27 days.
Right now, you're allowed 31 days to get 25 practices in. So
essentially,
that's why Penn State's first game is September 5th. August is a month with 31 days in it. So September 5th, that means Penn State's first camp day this year is August 5th. Okay, say it were September 5th, right? They would not start practice until August 9th.
They're essentially gaining summer days, losing preseason days, which is a balance there.
Well, the gaining of summer days are the voluntary days.
They're gaining, 6 voluntary days?
The coaches, except for the strength and conditioning staff. Strength and conditioning staff, they're around them.
But coaching football.
But actually coaching, being on the field, a lot of coaches are going on vacation next week, and justifiably so. This has been a whirlwind for them. They need time with their families. They need to go do something. I've felt the strange thing is that when they made the decision to eliminate two-a-days, I'm fine with that. All right? But two-a-days were not what people think they are. Oh, they're out there twice a day, and they're beating each other in the heat. They practiced at 11 a.m., and they came back at 4. No. You want to know what two-a-days were? We're going to go into the stadium. We're going to do kicking. We're going to field punts, going to run around a little bit, field goal kicking, kickoffs, things like that. And then in the afternoon, you'd come back and you'd do the hitting stuff. It wasn't what people thought, but most of this is what nobody knows. Okay, it's like you sit there and go, okay, I gotta have to explain this. But when they eliminated two-a-days, guess what they did? You still had the same number of practice. Practice started earlier, got pushed back. So it got pushed back to 31 days because you eliminated two-a-days, and the number of 2 days you were allowed. You still have the same number of practices, 27. Okay? But instead of having two-a-days, you now start earlier. I've always felt camp was too long anyway, because what happens is the first 2 weeks there's a lot of work. I mean a lot of work. You do acclimation, then you get into hitting, and then you hit. But once you get 2 weeks out, now it starts to really taper. And there's a lot of walkthroughs, a lot of shell work, and things like that, to stay sharp as to what you're doing. And, do you know the playbook? By doing 21 training camp practices in 27 days, you'll still get the time off, right? And 21 works because part of the 21 is also game week. Okay, so you're going to get 4 practices in game week. So you get the other 17. Okay. And then I have no problem with that. You've been working all year anyway. How many days of training camp do you need? And you've already done hitting in pads in the spring. You've gone T-shirts and shorts in June into early July. Right? And then you get back out there. That's fine. You'll do a quick acclimation, but I think it's smart. So instead, right, the 27 days, okay, I don't know what the opening game is next year for Penn State, but I think part of this also goes into the idea of week 0. So let's talk about week 0 for a moment. If they do go with 12 games in 14 weeks, where everybody probably will start week 0. Well, in this particular year, that would be what, August 30th?
Mm-hmm.
Does that sound right?
Something like that.
So now if you go back 27 days from August 30th, it's August 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need, do I need training camp starting in the last week of July? No.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more of an OTA model in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what that does for like having people go in the stadium for something, but there's two separate entities
There's
to
two
this,
chunks.
right? So if you want to do something in the first one and you want to do something in the stadium, like a practice in there and have people go in and see it, great. You can still do that. The next part is the transfer portal. It's already in a single window, but it was open for 15 days from January 2nd until the 16th this year. Something like that. They're going to cut it back to 10 days. It would open January 4th and would close January 13th. Now, the exception is if you're in the playoff and you're playing the semifinals and the finals, those players would then have 5 days following the end of their seasons to end the portal, to enter the portal. And this year, the national title game is ridiculously on January 25th. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, I don't get it. So these proposals I'm fine with. I mean, 10 days. I mean, most players already have made up their mind before they get into this thing anyway. How many people enter the portal late?
Not a lot. It happens sometimes.
I mean, it does happen sometimes. Now, I don't know when, for example, Desante Brown entered the portal. I don't know. I mean, Penn State has signed him for basketball from St. Bonaventure. And look, he's played here before because he played at Iowa, for God's sakes. And and he's going to be. He might be there today because I'm going this afternoon to basketball. He might be, but he wasn't here yet when I was there on Tuesday. He was not here yet. But the portal, all right, the vast majority of players jump into that portal, and at 12:01 the action starts. Okay, and so 10 days, that's fine. Right? And the entire idea, I do understand some of the logic of the portal being where it is for football because you do have to enter school and be in the semester. So I understand that completely. And so that part I do get. So they would talk about opening it up on January 4th and closing it on January 13th. All right, unless you're in the, I think at that point you're in the championship game. I think the semifinal teams would get a little.
Yeah, it starts a little later.
Right. They'd get 5 days. All right. So what? Monday's the 25th. So what? The 11th. 10-9. So 8-9 would be the semifinal games.
Yeah.
So the latest it would close for those guys would be the 14th. What's the difference?
Yeah.
It's 1 day. It's no big deal.
And then the only other change that would happen would be, of course, if your coach leaves, then you can go in differently, which of course is currently affecting Michigan men's basketball.
That's the Dusty May.
Which I'm thoroughly intrigued by what's going to happen with this Michigan team. And part of it is because of, the reason I'm intrigued by it is because part of it is the NIL piece of it, which is they've signed all of these contracts and stuff, as we've discussed. If you're a player, I know nothing, but let's say you're JP Estrella. You came there, you're going to play for Dusty May. You were going to play for him. You're going to be the next real good big man, power forward center for Michigan. Coach leaves, and you have the option to leave.
But here's
Are
the
you
part.
able to?
But here's the part. He is able to leave.
Okay.
Oh no, he's able to leave. Right? They had a coaching change.
Yeah.
But the part that we don't know is, for all we know, one of the assistants who may have been the lead guy on him may have been the person he bonded with. And is still there.
Yeah.
You don't know. No, nobody knows. It's like all this stuff. Everybody makes assumptions about. Well, he left. Oh, yeah, they have a personal relationship with him. Yeah, personal relationships with other people too. Yeah. Sorry, it's not the only guy, right? I mean, Dusty didn't just go in and go, "I'm the only guy." Oh, okay. What about these other guys? I know they're sort of helpers.
Steve Jones, did you watch any World Cup action from yesterday?
I watched a little bit at the end of the first half of Switzerland, Canada.
Okay.
The Canadians, in my opinion, played not to lose.
Yes.
And when usually when you play not to lose, you lose. Now it didn't hurt them. They're moving on.
Yeah. It didn't hurt them because Bosnia still had not beaten them when they had played. And so so the first three groups have their groups decided right now. Mexico is through in Group A. They won all three matches. South Africa, the surprise, the Socceroos won.
By the way, one other note: there will be no practices in July with the coaches on the field. No coaches on the field in July. Sorry, I apologize. Didn't mean to stop that.
So South Africa, the Socceroos, they make their first ever World Cup knockout stage. They beat South Korea 1-0. South Korea played scared and are now in that dreaded third place randomness wheel, essentially. Czech Republic came in fourth in the group. Your predictions, Steve Jones: Czech Republic would finish first. They finished fourth. Mexico to finish second. They finished first. You had South Korea in third, but you did not have South Africa correct. You had them in fourth. They came, of course, in second. Group B, I know you're shaking your head. The Swiss won that group with 7 total points. They are the best team. They're a good team. They're a solid structure. They played together for years, pretty much. Canada, as you mentioned, they came second on goal difference and on head-to-head. Bosnia and Herzegovina, the most likely U.S. men's national team opponent in the round of 32, they came in third, and Qatar came in fourth. You had
Juric and I are going to have a conversation, but now Juric is all Croatia. I just want to know. I want to know how much he hates Bosnia and Herzegovina.
I would love to know. I would love to hear.
Oh no, I'll ask him today.
Good, perfect. I should report back soon. Bosnia, you had them in first. They of course came in third. You had the Swiss in second, Canada in third, Qatar in fourth. So you just rotated the order of a few of them, and you're good to go. Group C, Brazil won their group. They beat out Morocco on goal difference at the end of the day. So Brazil and Morocco threw on 7 points apiece. Brazil in first, Morocco in second, which you had. Scotland in third, and Haiti in fourth. You had that again correct. This was one of the more straightforward groups in terms of how it worked because Brazil and Morocco are really good. Scotland are meh, and Haiti are not great. Haiti did put up a fight against Morocco.
Do not say Scotland is meh. They have come into this country, and people now love them.
The Scottish national team is meh.
Do not
the Scottish
say
fans
do not say this
are the greatest fans in the world.
Okay, do not at all say. Don't put down. These people are incredible. They take over stadiums and ballparks, and they sing.
So I don't know if it's feasible anymore. If Scotland are the 8th best third place team, if it shapes out that way,
who knows?
They will play Mexico in Mexico City. Now, can you imagine a more beautiful sight than the Scots in Mexico City, Steve Jones?
I think that would be wild.
I think sometimes the universe aligns and says, we need something to happen.
I feel like Johnny Carson. I think it'd be wild, wacky stuff.
So we'll see what takes place with them. So Scotland, so the Scottish, the Bosnians, and the South Koreans are the 3 into the group of third place teams. So we'll see what happens with them. The only confirmed locations, I believe, are for the ones we've already kind of talked about so far. So just kind of confirming it here. The only confirmed ones is Germany are in. Canada will take on South Africa. Morocco will play the winner of that then game. They have someone else as well to be determined. The U.S. is, of course, in. Switzerland is in. Argentina, Mexico, and Brazil are all in as well. And then coming up today's games at 4 o'clock, it's Curacao, Ivory Coast, Ecuador, Germany, Japan, Sweden, Tunisia, Netherlands, and then Paraguay, Australia, Turkey versus the USA. So
that's in SoFi this time, right?
They're back in SoFi for
Turkey
this one,
Turkey and the USA, yeah. And I expect him to rest a number of players.
Yes.
I do expect, though, he will play at least a portion Christian Pulisic just to get him out there. Pulisic is actually available.
Yes. So that's
he is actually available to play. I expect him to give him 15 good minutes out there and then sub him out.
That's what we discussed yesterday. Since you're taking my bullet points here, Steve Jones. Yeah. So today's games, Curacao, Ivory Coast, they're in Philly. That's at 4 o'clock today for all Philly fans out there before the 6 o'clock game in Washington, I believe, is D.C. is where the Phillies and Nationals are. New York, New Jersey Stadium.
The Phillies are playing Washington. Yeah. It's a 4-game series, which is a rarity. Yeah. But it's a 4-game series between the two. That's why they're playing down there today.
Ecuador,
it frees
Germany
up the parking lot. I talked to Michael Barkan about this, and he says, Steve, he says, our studio's inside the Xfinity Mobile Center. Mm-hmm. He says, I can look out at the parking lot. He says, fortunately, we're off in those days. Because they're going to have a 4th of July game there.
Oh, yeah, and we'll talk about that one in a minute. Ecuador, Germany is in New York, New Jersey Stadium, so in MetLife. Japan, Sweden is in Dallas.
What in the heck were they thinking? I've done a game there.
What?
I brought at MetLife.
MetLife?
I broadcast a game there. To be honest with you, I like Giant Stadium. I did several games in Giant Stadium.
Yeah, I've been there for a few games.
Right? And I'm like, they spend a lot of money on that place.
Mm-hmm. It is
meh.
As the kids call it, they call it mid.
Meanwhile, like you talk about Dallas, that guy's
Jerry World.
I remember walking around that place because, it wasn't just going in to broadcast the game. I was in there for practice. Mm-hmm. You're in there for practice, and they're in the locker room getting ready. You can walk around. Mm-hmm. I tell you right now, that sucker got his money's worth.
Yeah, he did.
I said to Jack, I said, I got to give him credit. He thought of almost everything in here.
He did.
Very impressive.
Mm-hmm. Netherlands, Tunisia is in Kansas City Stadium. Paraguay versus Australia is in San Fran. And the U.S., as you mentioned, is in SoFi over in Los Angeles. The U.S. is through. We know when they're playing. They're going to play in San Francisco on July 1st.
Which everybody knew that was San Francisco was the spot. Yeah. But everybody knew even going in that if the U.S. went through, they would play in.
Yeah. The only option was if they came in third place, they would have had the 4th of July Philly game, which could be against England. So that scenario's out the window, and I'm really sad about it. I would have loved nothing more than I saw a post about this, and I thought you'd appreciate it. Imagine 4th of July, Philadelphia, U.S., England, a night game, and the U.S. walks out to like Mo Bamba or one of the songs they played at Beaver Stadium. Can you imagine what that would be like?
Let's start with this. We already won the big one with England.
Yes, we did. We're 1-0.
Okay. The one we had to win.
Yes.
We won.
I know. I thought about that, and I was like, that would be like anyone who thought the 4th of July in Philly could get any worse if the U.S. was playing England in the 4th of July in Philadelphia. Oh my gosh.
Well, think of Philadelphia.
There would have been teeth thrown into every single river and every single pond, everything.
Right, and that's just a normal night. But think of Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. They'll host this World Cup matchup on the 4th, at the link. But they also have all the ceremonies around the Declaration of Independence, 250. They also have the baseball all-star game.
Yep.
The week after.
Yep.
I guess, 9 days after? Something like that. It's a Tuesday night, whatever Tuesday is. So it's like 10 days later. Mm-hmm. They'll play it. Like, great. Right? They got a lot going on in that city.
Mm-hmm. And then in terms of, the round of 16, there is a game in Philly, by the way. It's July 4th, that game. And then I think that's the last game they have. It is. So they have that game. There's a real chance the U.S. plays. There's a chance, Steve. I would love nothing more than the round of 16. But sadly, it's not going to happen.
Well, first of all, let's see them win the round of 32 first.
Well, sadly, right now, Germany will play most likely in Philly on the 4th of July. So the U.S. If they win their game, they're going to play in Seattle. Their road keeps them out west, by the way. So if
I knew that.
Yeah.
I knew that.
So they go from San Fran to Seattle,
which is good for their travel wise. Now, when does Iran play Egypt?
Iran and Egypt, that matchup, if I can scroll back.
Because if Iran wins, they get through. They've had nothing but draws so far.
Yeah, they are playing tomorrow at 11 p.m. So how it stands right now.
And they're playing in Los Angeles?
Yes. So how it stands right now,
Well,
real fast.
That's a long trip from Tijuana. I hope they can make it.
The U.S. road, again, real fast. Santa Clara, Seattle, Inglewood, Arlington, and then the final in East Rutherford. The other matches coming on up today, so we went through them.
Honestly, God, I don't understand why they picked East Rutherford. I really don't. I don't understand. I understand.
The only reason.
The media's everywhere.
I know.
I mean, for goodness sakes. I mean, you know what I would have picked? I'd have picked the Rose Bowl.
I know. That was what I was thinking.
I know the parking situation is not quite the greatest on the face of the earth.
It's L.A.
But I'm sorry that just because it's New York doesn't mean it's the right place to put it.
I agree.
I mean, to be honest with you, like Dallas would be a great place for it too. Arlington would be incredible.
I think the Rose Bowl probably was the best option.
Kansas City,
the Rose Bowl is the 10th biggest stadium in the U.S. Like it's got the capacity you're looking for.
I know,
and it's Los Angeles or Pasadena technically, but like it's got the L.A. thing. Put one of the semifinals in East Rutherford. Put it there.
I realize that the stadiums in this country have been overwhelming fans from foreign countries because they're all big.
Yeah.
They're all big. They're not playing where the Columbus Crew plays.
No. The thing is, they haven't even seen the biggest stadiums. They haven't been in the biggest stadiums. None of the biggest stadiums they've used. They've not used the 10 biggest.
Well, I mean, look, part of the issue is
locations.
Okay, well, it's not just locations because it is hotels. How many like for example, hotels make a difference here. The number of hotels, but you would have to modify those stadiums to do this. There are specs that FIFA has as to how wide the pitch needs to be, how long the pitch needs to be. Right? You're like, wow, it's approximately what a football field is. No, actually, when they came in 1994 and did a site survey on Beaver Stadium, I think it was the summer of '93 they came in. They did a site survey because they're like, hey, there's a 100,000 seat stadium. Let's go on. Let's go in there. They would have had to have built the dirt up and actually taken out the first couple of rows, which meant they would have to take out more rows behind it because you need space beyond the pitch to do it. And it's not as easy as people think it is to do.
The reason a stadium like a Wembley or Tottenham Hotspur Stadium can have the NFL games and all these other soccer matches because it's built humongously wide and they have them in.
Well, I did football at Crow Park, Gaelic football field. The space,
gigantic,
all over the place. The sidelines, the space from the stands to the football sideline, the space on each end of the field was
monstrous.
I mean, because it's a Gaelic hurling football field, or a hurling field, but Gaelic football field. It's just bigger.
Yeah. So as it stands right now, the U.S. is through.
So that's why they're not going to Michigan. They're not going to Penn State. They're not going to Ohio State. They're not going to Tennessee. They're not going to the University of Texas. They're not going to Alabama. Those are all 100,000 seat stadiums. But they're not usable or functional for this unless you make field modifications.
In terms of the group stages, who is through? Australia-Paraguay's game tonight will decide who gets second, who gets third. If they draw, I presume both will go through due to the point differences they'll need. The Germany-Ecuador game, Germany's already through. If Ecuador can win, they'll pretty much have a spot into the next round. If Ivory Coast win, they're through. The Netherlands, Japan, and Sweden are all set up to be in. In terms of those games, if Tunisia can beat the Netherlands, they can make this interesting for everybody. But all three of them are through. Egypt have 4 points. They need to win against Iran to confirm their spot. Iran need to at least draw against Egypt to have a chance. Belgium need to beat the New Zealand. New Zealand needs to beat Belgium. There's a lot of chances there in that Group G for some craziness to go on tomorrow. We'll talk about those ones tomorrow, of course, when we get there, Steve Jones.
But I also think it's been great how we talk about the fans of the world coming in here and how much they loved being here, which has been great. But at the same time, it's been great because the fans of this country have been very, very into the World Cup. I mean, they've been very into it. Now, the U.S. has helped that.
It has.
When you do something that has not happened in 96 years, win your first two, and they haven't done that in 96 years, people are into it. Yeah. They know no matter what happens tonight. Tonight 9 o'clock?
Tonight's 10 o'clock.
10
the U.S.
o'clock.
is guaranteed a spot in the round of 32.
Yeah.
And they're going to play a team better than
when I get back from Williamsport tonight, I'll probably watch the second half.
Yeah.
Because I want to watch the second half. It's not,
It'll be fun.
you know,
It'll be.
I'll probably listen to it on the radio for a while on the way back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll be a fun game to watch. That'll be tonight, coming on up. I love watching soccer. I love watching the World Cup. It's my favorite thing, and so this is like my favorite time of year because it's just like.
See, but what I like is how the U.S. plays. I always felt like the U.S. played not to lose. Year after year after year. Now, I know talent makes the gigantic difference as to what you can do.
Play for it.
So now they have the talent, but I also think they have the style because he gives them a lot more freedom to be creative out there. Fans love creativity. And you see how they play. And look, when Pulisic's out there, the U.S. is a decidedly left-handed team. And justifiably so. It's like when the Raiders played with Art Shell and Gene Upshaw, I would say to Jack all the time, I said they were the consummate left-handed football team. Left tackle, left guard, they're both Hall of Famers. Pulisic's your best player. And you can see it. I don't care how many goals everybody else has scored. You watch the first half of the first game, that's your best player. And they would feed the left-hand side, and he just makes plays over there. That's why I was impressed by what they did in Seattle, because they had to work both sides without having the anchor on the left side, and I thought they played very, very well.
Well, so that's the thing with the USA is this is, like you mentioned, the talent piece. This is the most talented U.S. team there has been.
No doubt.
Because you've got Anthony Robinson at left back, who is one of the better left backs in the world in general. He's really good. And then you've got Fuller and Balogun, who, as you mentioned before the tournament, is a legitimate striker. The U.S. has not had that since
you were
Clint
shocked.
Dempsey.
You were still in shock that I made that point.
Yeah.
You're still in shock.
I still am. But Balogun is a legitimate finisher. He can finish. He is fast. He's quick. He's good. He's one of the best up-and-coming young talents in the world. And he's actually, like, good.
You walked out of the studio that day and said, what the heck?
I was impressed. But the fact that you have him...
Now, I don't think he'll play tonight.
I don't think you will. My guess is Haji Wright, Ricardo Pepi are the two that lead the line.
Yeah.
I think as you mentioned earlier, we talked about it yesterday, it's going to be a very rotated U.S. team. They're guaranteed their spot. They know where they are. It doesn't do them any good.
This is what you do, okay? Anybody who has a yellow card, you sit them.
Yeah, they don't touch the field.
Because I don't need you getting a second yellow card. So they are an automatic sit. Because in the next round, guess what? It starts over again.
Tonight we're going to see in goal probably Matt Turner or Chris Brady. We're going to see the likes of Austin Trusty, Miles Robinson, at center back, probably Mark McKenzie. You're going to see it's basically going to be the rotation.
To be honest with you, they'll probably still win.
Yeah, it's going to be the second unit. They're going to all get play. You're going to see probably Gio Reyna start. You're going to see Brendan Aronson play. Just to give everyone else form.
Reyna is an interesting one because Reyna is a wild card.
He is the definition of wild card.
But he is the kind of guy that you sub him in, and he's going to make a play for you.
Yeah.
He will make a play for you. If he's playing the entire time, he will give up more than he produces.
But for 20 minutes.
But for 20 minutes, he's clever enough, and in his role, he can be a star.
So we're going to see, my assumption is Gio Reyna or Brendan Aronson will play, probably alongside a Sebastian Berhalter in midfield.
I would expect Freeman would not play.
Freeman will not play, and my assumption would be Haji Wright and Ricardo Pepi are the ones who start, and as you mentioned, somewhere in the 60th minute or later, probably around that hydration break in the 68th minute.
Bring in Pulisic.
Pulisic will come in. My guess would be maybe you bring on Balogun, you bring on one of the forwards. You bring on the forwards. You give
anybody who has a yellow card, I'm not bringing in.
No.
Okay, I think, doesn't Balogun have a yellow card?
I'm pulling it on up. Give me one moment.
I think we have like 4 guys with yellow cards.
I think you're right. Yellow cards, Anthony Robinson, Richards, Balogun, and Adams will all not play because they all have yellow cards. So those 4 are not.
You don't think I'm keeping track of this?
No,
you're sitting there after all this Premier League stuff, and you are in shock.
You don't surprise me anymore, Steve Jones. But does surprise me.
By the way, Richards is a heck of a player.
Chris Richards? Oh,
he is a really good player. And every time I see Freeman make a play, all I think about is Al Michaels with his dad. When Antonio Freeman was, he did what? That catch in Green Bay that night.
Whenever we see Richards play, like when he got hurt back in, I think, March or April, it was a scare because he was the U.S.'s best defender. He plays in the Prem. He plays for Palace. He's a really good defensive to center back. He knows what he's doing. He's fast. He's good on his feet. He's good in the air.
Yep.
So he is the linchpin of that defense.
There is no question about that.
Yeah. Going on over to the NBA, back to it. We've not discussed yet, and I'll just loop into this piece, the LaMelo Ball trade. So this morning, the Charlotte Hornets traded star guard LaMelo Ball and Josh Green, the wing, to the Minnesota Timberwolves for Naz Reid, a 2033 unprotected first-round pick, 3 first-round pick swaps in 28, 29, and 30, 3 second-round picks in 29, 32, and 33. And then in this was that trade was looped into the Julius Randle, Brooklyn, Chicago thing. And then just moments ago, the Hornets re-signed guard Kobe White to a 3-year, $74 million deal to return to the Hornets. He is now going to be probably their starting guard. My assumption also is Christian Anderson, who they drafted, is also going to play a lot because he's drafted and he's a point guard. So that's what the Charlotte team is. It is a new look Charlotte Hornets roster.
But it's also a new look Timberwolves roster. I don't. You got Edwards, LaMelo Ball, and one ball.
Yeah.
Okay. You've got Edwards and LaMelo Ball and one basketball, and you don't have right now what I call quality rebounders up front.
No, you've got Rudy Gobert, and they're betting a lot on Trey Kaufman-Renn as a rookie.
Yes,
and they're banking a lot on
Kaufman-Renn is a 4. He is not a 5.
No, he's a 4.
Right when he played 5 at Purdue,
they got.
Okay, well, when they came here, he played 5, and he got ripped a new one.
And he's 6'9". He's not big enough to go against some of the guys in the NBA who are bigger and stronger.
He is an absolute 4 in the NBA, just like he was an absolute 4 in college. That's why they brought in Oscar Clough last year, because they could not afford to put Kaufman-Renn at the 5 spot.
Yeah.
Matt knew that. Right? But that's a lot to put out there. You now have, to me, an imbalance in Minnesota, because you don't have enough power up front to compensate, and you have 2 ball-centric guards that have to have the ball.
They are banking a lot on Joan Berenger, the second-year center, the Frenchman, to probably play a lot more minutes. The Hornets, on the other case, though, I really like this. I like the idea of trading away LaMelo and building around.
Oh, this is going to kill Eric Collins.
I know. Heartbreaking. But Kobe White is your point guard. He's pretty good. Con Knippel is a legitimate.
Con Knippel's a good time.
He's a legitimate player.
It is because of Con Knippel they can make the ball trade.
Yeah. As you have him, you've got Brandon Miller, who you also trust as a wing for them. He's been really good.
Yep.
They have Miles Bridges at power forward, Moussa Diabate at center, and then their bench is going to be Christian Anderson, Sion James from Duke, who played last year, was pretty good for them.
Not bad.
And then Ryan Kalkbrenner and Naz Reid. That's your bench unit. It's a pretty good bench unit. Kalkbrenner was pretty good for them. Naz Reid is pretty much one of the best sixth men in the NBA.
See, this is what's happening. San Antonio is forcing teams to make moves.
They're forcing them to get bigger.
Right? And they are forcing them, okay? Minnesota feels they need more scoring to beat Oklahoma City, because that's who beat them this year. We need more scoring. Edwards, of course, to his credit, gutted it out, played hurt with a bad knee. Still played pretty well, but that thing was pretty well padded up.
They need more scoring, they need more creation.
So we need more scoring, more creation. That's how they're going about it. Oklahoma City went the other route. Oklahoma City went into the draft. They took Uday Mara because they want him to match up and be the more physical presence against Wembanyama. I don't care if he gets 6 fouls. It's fine. But it gives Chet Holmgren more freedom, right? And then they bring in draft Bennett Sturts. They bring him in, which will allow them at times to rest either SGA or have him carry the ball up the floor and take SGA off the ball, which then preserves his legs. Right? Instead of being so ball-centric, other people can handle it. To now go with what should be – look, Oklahoma City was a banged-up basketball team at the end.
They were beat up.
I mean, they were really
Jalen Williams played hurt all season. A.J. Mitchell was out.
And you could tell the issues they were having because Caruso was taking exponentially too many shots. Like, way too many.
Yeah, he should not be taking 13 shots a game. He shouldn't be.
I mean, he shouldn't be taking 13 shots in 4 games. Sorry.
Yeah. So I'm intrigued to see what
But
happens.
these are all reactions to San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting, and nobody in the East reacted to the Knicks.
Well, I think the Hornets feel that they can win with this now. I think they did react. I think they said, no, let me explain that.
They're kind of down the line here.
They're down the line, but I think they saw it as our team looked really good as last year went. Con Knippel got better. Kalkbrenner got better. They traded for Kobe White. They feel that if they make this trade, they can put themselves in a spot to go win.
And believe me, I like Brandon Lee.
Yeah.
Okay? He played at Bucknell.
Mm-hmm.
Terrific guy. I mean, really great guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm rooting for him. Okay? And by all accounts, I know he's with the Celtics for a period of time. He's a good coach. And Micah knew him really well, Micah Shrewsbury.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So they've got the right guy to coach them. You feel like Miami made the move to see if they could catch the Knicks by getting Giannis.
Yeah.
We'll see what the Celtics want to do with Jaylen Brown. I just don't think you get here's always my issue on trading a big player.
Yeah.
My issue on always trading a big player, and I think it's a mistake that's made over and over and over again. I don't trade the big player unless I am getting return that makes me better. 9 times out of 10, I trade the great player, and all I did was get pieces. Like pieces. I'd rather have the big player. I would rather go into a season, if I'm Brad Stevens, with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Instead of moving a 28-point-a-game guy someplace. They can't make up for 28 points, and there's nobody out there I want to do this. Okay? In free agency, can I get somebody maybe to fill a spot and do something like that? But I don't. It's like Milwaukee's trade.
Milwaukee's trade of Giannis was them saying we need to rebuild.
Well, their trade was
to end the misery.
Management and the player were not getting along.
No.
So you're not going to get. Okay, you're not going to get future great production out of him, right? And it's not the same team. I mean, Middleton's no longer there, who was so important to him, right?
Drew Holiday's no longer there.
Drew Holiday's not there. And look, and they made the mistake of bringing Lillard in. And, of course, Woj and Shams and everything. I'm sitting there going, really? And it turned out to be, really? I mean, just because you got a name. Yeah, it turns out Lillard goes back to Portland, and guess what? He's doing pretty well at that. When he is the show, he's great.
Yeah.
Right? Sharing it. That's why the LaMelo Ball thing. Sharing it. Anthony Edwards. Sharing it. Right? They'll attempt to do it, and only time will tell us whether it will work. Yeah. But, like, for example, Tatum and Brown, they share it. Everybody has always said, well, they'll never win together, never play together, the whole thing. Well, they have won together, and they genuinely, okay? If I've got those two guys, I've said every time when it comes to trading a star, every single time you trade a star, what do you get in return? Right? This has always been, let's take baseball, the Pirates, right? We got prospects. I'm going, mother of God, you got goody. Whole bunch of guys that have never done it before. That's the same story with this. Like Naz Reid goes for LaMelo Ball. There's like all these draft choices involved. Those are all people you don't even know who they are. I mean, who are they? Nobody knows. Now, it turned out, like when now the fleecing happens. This is when the fleecing happens, right? A name that people perceive as a star, but isn't really.
Like Anthony Edwards is a star. He's that guy.
That's fine. No, I'm fine. The fleecing happens when you have somebody who is perceived as a star and really isn't, and you move him. Paul George to the Clippers, Oklahoma City. The return. It is the gift that keeps on giving for a guy that is a good to very good player, but is not a great player. Oh, how can you say I looked at Paul George? No, excuse me. And he's got how many rings? He's been in how many finals? He's done what? He had what did he have? Like they were in the World Games, World Cup or something like that. He played really well. Like, oh, goody. That's fine. But he's not. Like, everybody keeps banking. He's going to be, we got the big three now in the Clippers. We got the big three with the Sixers. He continues to do a bunch of nothing. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. It's just a fact. He's not a star. He thinks he's a star. There are people in the league who are not the world's greatest talent evaluators who think he's a star. Meanwhile, Sam Presti, who is a brilliant talent evaluator, says, we got to bag this guy. Right? And he acquires a star. He acquires a star. And then the pieces to go with him, all in the same trade. I mean,
pretty good.
But I'm saying, that's where you make a trade. Like, a big name moved a big name, right? And you're sitting there thinking to yourself, I think they just fleeced him. Now, in this case, big name that is a legitimate star, that actually really is good. I always debate what your return is.
So that's the question: is who are the Celtics going to get that would fit theoretically with Joe Mazzulla's shoot the three ball all the time and be able to defend and switch?
Nobody.
That's the thing, is like, who is there? I don't know.
Nobody. Right?
I'm looking, like, let's look at the Celtics roster. Let's just look there first. So let's say, okay,
you got Peyton Pritchard.
Peyton Pritchard's your sixth man.
You got White, who's really good. He's
Baylor
your point
Shireman's a good two.
Shireman is a guy, a backup
Gonzalez.
guy. Hauser's a backup guy who
Jordan
can start.
Walsh, good off the bench.
Yeah, all right.
Lou Garza's okay off the bench. Neemias Queta's a good center, but isn't really a good starter. So you would assume it's going to be for probably a big man, and then you'd have to get someone to replace Jaylen Brown. That's the question.
You can't replace him.
I know. That's
the problem. I will gut it out with somebody else that can go in there and rebound and get somebody in free agency that's on the second tier that can go out and just move some bodies out of the way, because this team won with Al Horford at center.
Al Horford, by the way, today re-signed 2 years, $14 million with the Warriors.
Golden State. Right? He's a pro's pro. He's a pro's pro. He makes every team he's on better except for the 1 year he's with the Sixers. But I don't care what sport, baseball, the NBA, the NHL. I mean, what's the rate on return for Ottawa moving Brady Tkachuk to Florida? What's the return? Come on. You can't replace a guy, an established guy like that you know what he can do. They deal him to Florida. Now he's reunited with his brother, but what's the return? How many baseball trades do we see go, we got prospects?
Almost every trade
is... Good for you. That's great.
It's 75 cents on the dollar. Almost every trade. Doesn't matter what you're doing.
The NFL doesn't do this stuff. The NFL has had more trades in recent years, but they don't do this stuff.
No.
They don't. Right? They're the one league that just, they don't, you're a star. You're okay. They seem to understand you hang on to them. These other leagues, well, he's getting awfully expensive. I don't know. He's getting expensive because he's good. I mean, the Pirates have specialized in. Even their fans finally caught on to it. We got prospects. You know what prospect is a fancy word for?
What?
Haven't done anything yet.
Thank you for listening to Sports Talk with Steve Jones, a 7 Mountain Media production. Come back at 11 every weekday for analysis of the latest happening in the sports landscape. From college football to European soccer, Steve and Kyle cover it all.